on Broadway tonight. The Mecca of boxing, New York City, and Madison Square Garden. Coming up in our main event, Amir Khan squares off against Pauli Malignaggi as Khan makes his USA debut and puts his 140-pound title on the line tonight here at Madison Square Garden. Well, there's been a war of words between Pauli Malignaggi and Amir Khan in this lead-up and all the press leading up to the fight. In fact, Khan intimated that tonight he will send Malignaggi into retirement. Malignaggi, of course, can talk fast and punch fast. He had a lot of answers back to Amir Khan, including make sure on Friday night you polish the belt because I'm taking it home and I want it shiny. Yesterday they weighed in at a hotel at Madison, a hotel in Manhattan here in New York City. And of course, Malignaggi walking to the stage, feeling very confident, showing off his body, saying he was fit and ready, said no problem making the 140 pounds. Amir Khan, no problem making 140 pounds as well. Part of the weigh-in is always the stare down that comes after both fighters get on the scale. Nose to nose they went. Now this was supposedly closed to the public, but somehow about 100 supporters of Khan were there. And as they got toe-to-toe, you see Khan shove Malignaggi, and then the Khan supporters darted onto the stage, and there was bedlam for about 5 to 10 minutes. Security eventually stepped in, got the fighters and their parties and camps separated, and there was nothing after that of any significance, but a lot of ill will leading up to this fight.
The scuffles at the weigh-ins are getting boring.
Yeah, well, you know, and some of it was the Khan people that kind of jumped in. But with that said, we now focus in on the main event. And Max, when you take a look at this fight, you know, obviously Amir Khan is making his debut in the United States. He won a silver medal at the 2004 Olympic Games. He's a guy with all the star power. He's a guy with all the skill. Where does Amir Khan fit in this landscape in your perspective in this division, even though he is a belt holder?
He's arguably the most talented guy in the division, and he just has the look of a star, right? You just know it when you see it. Good looking, tall, long reach, athletic, good balance, fast hands, fast feet, good punching power, amateur pedigree. Bob, as you mentioned, a silver medalist. But a funny thing happened on the way to stardom, because he didn't look like such a star when he was on the canvas, knocked out in one round by an undefeated prospect in Bradis Prescott, but not one who was exactly setting the world on fire at that time. And so in boxing, it's not so much how much star power it looks like you have, it is can you get it done in the ring? And certainly he's with the right guy in Freddie Roach right now, Amir Khan is. He's in with the right guy in Pauli Malignaggi in the sense that Malignaggi's not a big puncher who can exploit what it appears is Khan's one real weakness, his suspect chin. But now he has to go out and execute and beat a good fighter in that fighter's hometown in front of a mostly partisan crowd, you would think, for Malignaggi, although we'll hear the cheers and gauge that before the fight starts.
Well, and as Malignaggi pointed out to us, you know, this is going to be the first time that this kid, when he gets hit, the crowd's going to be going crazy. Can Malignaggi hit him enough tonight? The Magic Man out of Brooklyn, New York, 27-3 with 5 knockouts. In August of last year, he had that controversial 12-round decision loss against Juan Diaz. So in December, they moved to a neutral site in Chicago, Illinois, and Malignaggi performed just as well as he did in the first fight. He took the fight to Juan Diaz, and he was dominant in this fight. Malignaggi was able to control the ring, hurt Diaz in round number 6. Gloves touchdown in round number 10. It was scored a knockdown, and Malignaggi threw 802 punches in the fight, 67 per round, and won an easy 12-round decision in the rematch.
Brooklyn in the house. Coming to the ring, the challenger, Paulie Magic Man Malignaggi.
Max, here's the question as Malignaggi makes his way into the ring. The Khan people didn't want a guy that can bang. We know Malignaggi doesn't have a lot of power, but sometimes you better watch out what you ask for.
Yeah, as Paulie's been mentioning all week, careful what you wish for. Malignaggi is who careful promoters and matchmakers and managers, who they put their fighters in the ring with when they're trying to protect their fighter's chin, because Malignaggi is a fantastic boxer, can't punch at all, as we've mentioned. So I asked Malignaggi yesterday, how are you going to win this fight? Why should we believe you're going to win this fight? He pointed out several things. One, that if he were put in with the 23 fighters that Khan has faced so far, he wouldn't be 22-1, he would be 23-0. Maybe he would. Two, that he's been in a big fight like this before, and it always hasn't been on his home turf. Khan has not yet experienced this. Malignaggi predicted that Khan will not have slept last night, anticipating this moment. And three, Malignaggi says simply, I'm better than he is. When it comes down to a boxing contest, my skills are superior.
Malignaggi was so annoyed at what happened at the weigh-in, he said, forget about winning the title. I just want to beat this guy up. We'll see if he can do that tonight. And there is Amir Khan making his United States debut. A belt holder at 140 pounds after a win against Dimitri Salita in his last fight. 2 fights ago, he took on Andreas Kotelnik, who held the 140-pound belt. And Khan followed the game plan to a T for 12 rounds. The question begs to be asked, though, Max. Kotelnik fights a very European style. Those are all the kind of opponents that Khan has faced to this point as a pro, and predominantly in the amateurs. He's going to see a different kind of opponent tonight than someone like Kotelnik here.
Yeah, what was impressive to me about the Kotelnik fight is Khan won the first round and the 12th round and most of them in between. He stayed consistent.
Here comes the Olympic pride of England, the defending champion, Amir King Khan.
I've been in this too long. This is my destiny. This is my diary. My life story. This is the way I live. The way I ride. I've been waiting for this moment. So long. I'm a fighter in the heart. In my blood. A warrior by blood. And now you
Strong support for Amir Khan here at Madison Square Garden in New York. Flanked by trainer Freddie Roach. When we asked Amir yesterday, what's been the real difference working with Freddie? He said he's taught me to use my brain more, pick my shots, not rush in there. Well, Malignaggi's going to want to make him rush. Malignaggi's going to want to make him think tonight. Can Khan remain disciplined from the frenetic style that Malignaggi's going to bring to the ring tonight?
Khan is taller, has the longer reach, has the better amateur background, has better punching power. The one place that Malignaggi has an advantage as a pro is experience, and maybe Malignaggi's a touch faster. I mean, we're here to find out.
Electric atmosphere here in the theater at Madison Square Garden. For the formal introductions, once again to the ring, and Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the theater here in Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, USA. Golden Boy Promotions and DeBella Entertainment, in association with Khan Promotions, are proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Tecate Cerveza con Carácter and sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairwoman Melvina Lathan, Director of Boxing Ralph Petrillo. At ringside, WBA Supervisor Michael Welsh. The 3 judges scoring, Glenn Feldman, Terry O'Connor, and Steve Weisfeld. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, in his 147th world title bout, referee Steve Smoger. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, from the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, Let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing leopard trunks and officially weighing in at 139 pounds. His professional record, 27 victories, including 5 knockouts, only 3 defeats. From Brooklyn, New York, the challenger, former junior welterweight champion of the world, Paulie Magic Man Malignaggi. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with gold, official weight 139 1/2 pounds. This Olympic silver medalist from 2004 now has a professional record consisting of 22 victories, including 16 knockouts and only 1 defeat. From Bolton, Lancashire, England, the reigning, defending WBA Super Lightweight champion of the world, Amir King Khan.
All right, gentlemen, you were given your instructions in your respective dressing rooms. Please obey my commands, respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Trunks are good. Touch them up. Touch. All right. Good.
Malignaggi has lost to Miguel Cotto and Ricky Hatton, 2 come-forward fighters who pressured him and beat him up. But Malignaggi's never lost a high-speed chess match. So no, we're not going to find out about Amir Khan's chin tonight. But he believes, Khan does, that he can beat Malignaggi in a high-speed chess match. That will be impressive if he can do it.
You ready?
Round number 1 scheduled for 12. Khan and Malignaggi.
Get out.
Amir Khan hails from England. He is of Pakistani descent. Had problems getting a work visa. Had to spend extra time in Vancouver before he was able to come back into the States. Normally you'd say, wow, that's a big distraction, making your USA debut. Khan told us it was actually a blessing in disguise because he's working in the Wild Card gym out in Los Angeles. He said, it was just us, me and Freddie and my team in Vancouver, and we were able to really focus on some things.
Don't punch. Go ahead.
Watching a high-level boxing contest between 2 very fast, athletic fighters.
See those long arms of Khan.
Khan lands a nice short right hand on the inside. He's landed it a couple times so far this round.
Good left hand by Khan. Right hand by Khan.
Thus far, he is outboxing Malignaggi.
Good stiff jab, doubles up with the left hand, does Amir Khan. Khan steps in with power.
Break.
Malignaggi holds on.
I don't recall Malignaggi being hit this cleanly, this often, this early in a fight.
Khan again touches Malignaggi with the right hand, works the jab. Precision from Amir Khan right now in round 1.
And we see Khan's height and reach advantage being used to great effect here. It's not so much that he's outspeeding Malignaggi. Maybe he is. They look comparably fast to me. But he's able to hit Malignaggi from a range that Malignaggi's not able to counter from.
You know, Malignaggi likes to have different kinds of trunks for his fights, and he always has a different hairdo. Tonight he came in sort of with a shocked hairdo where his hair is standing up. I think he's a little shocked right now as a fighter at the speed and accuracy from Amir Khan here in round one. Excellent round one for Amir Khan.
Now, a really good round. Yeah, use your feint a little bit more for me, okay? Draw his lead out, okay? 'Cause when you feint him, he's gonna duck down.
Yeah.
Okay? All right?
Okay. Go to stupid exchanges, okay, baby?
Nice deep breath.
That's it.
Look at me.
Now you saw what he's got, and we're not going in and out on him. Okay, let's make him reach. Okay, Paulie? We're sitting down. We don't want to sit down. We want to in and leave him out. Let him stretch with that jab. Okay? Then we count him.
Well, the good sequences in round number one. Watch Amir Khan right there. Touches Malignaggi with the left. Right hand comes in over the top as Malignaggi tries to duck away. And the sense you got in round number one, Max, is Malignaggi was on the defensive.
Malignaggi's camp believes that Khan has a tendency to reach with his punches, and that Malignaggi would start off fast, build a lead, and make Khan increasingly desperate and increasingly easy to hit. What we saw in the first round is Khan's superior height, reach, and timing counteract everything Malignaggi was trying to do, and it's Khan who's jumped out to the lead.
We're at Madison Square Garden in New York City. HBO's Boxing After Dark. Amir Khan making his United States debut against Pauli Malignaggi as Khan puts his 140-pound title on the line. Earlier tonight, Victor Ortiz, an easy 10-round decision against Nate Campbell.
You also see that Khan's a guy who holds his hands high. Malignaggi holds his hands low. When they both jab, Khan's defense is in a position to stop Malignaggi's jab. Malignaggi's face is open for Khan.
At this point, the 23-year-old Khan has shown very nice poise. Steps in with a combination.
You know, for a light hitter, Khan really has the mentality of a fighter. When he's hit, his reaction, even though he's a defensive fighter, his reaction is to throw right back. He's a very tough guy, Malignaggi.
Plus, Max, when you look at his frame and his size, I mean, he's going to just add weight, move up in weight class, and fill out even nicer. He's just 23.
You mean Khan?
Khan.
Yeah.
Don't go on his neck. Don't go on his neck.
So far, it looks like very good matchmaking from Golden Boy. You see Khan not having to worry too much about what's coming back at him.
Malignaggi ducked away, caught the end of a left hand, nothing severe. You know, one of the things Malignaggi self-scout, he said, one of my problems in my career is my inconsistency, that I just have lapses. Tonight, he cannot have any lapses against Amir Khan. End of round two.
Beautiful. Deep breath. Good job.
Okay? Come on, Jeff. Deep breath. Deep breath. Stay relaxed. Head movement. Okay? Let's go. And shoot them right hands. The rooftop is open. Okay, but set it up. Okay? Deep breath now. Deep breath and focus here. Do not look outside the ring. Keep your focus right here, okay? Okay? Use your face. Stay loose. Speed kills. Remember that. Do not load up.
Through the first 2 rounds, Khan has landed 23 of 73 jabs, 32%. Malignaggi 5 of 42. Malignaggi opens up to start round 3. I like what his trainer, Sharif Yunan, did right. They said, don't look around the ring. Look at me. Stay focused.
Yeah, usually that instruction would be given to Paulie because he won a couple rounds and then maybe gave a round or 2 away. In this case, Malignaggi's losing his fight. He's fighting his fight and he's losing it. It's a high-speed chess match, and he's down a couple pawns in the early rounds.
A little short with that right hand off the combination.
Good counter hook by Malignaggi.
Don't punch. Step, 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 Paulie. Step, step.
See something over Khan's left eyebrow, Bob?
Might be a little red. No blood.
Break. Don't punch. Don't punch. No, no, Paulie. Step around, baby. Step around.
Malignaggi mistimes that counter left hook.
Punch out, Amir. Punch out. Punch out, Amir. Punch out. That's it. Punch out.
Malignaggi touches him with the left. It feels like a better round for Malignaggi.
Like he's figuring a few things out. Still not winning the round, but finding more success landing his own shots.
Hey, don't punch him. No, no, let go, let go. Hey.
Khan touched him to the body, and then a right hand up top.
Seeing as how Khan's left eyebrow does look like it's discolored, and how Malignaggi has that mouse under his left eye, Malignaggi maybe do well to start finding a more consistent home for his right hand, start targeting that eye.
End of round number 3 in the scheduled 12-rounder. From Madison Square Garden, the theater at the Garden, HBO's Boxing After Dark. And there is Shah Khan, Amir's dad, who, when Amir was a kid, would drive him to different boxing clubs after he finished work. Owns a mechanic business in England. Family from Pakistan. Now his mom went to the Prescott fight, and after he got knocked out, said, I'm not going to any more fights.
Remember, I want you to feint him a little bit more, make him commit with the feint.
Is the pace okay?
Yeah, the pace is good, but I want you to feint a little bit more, okay?
Okay.
All right, feint him and draw his lead. Make a mistake for me, okay?
Give me a deep breath right now.
Let's go, champ. Okay? Stay focused, baby. Stay focused.
Round number 4 begins for Amir Khan and Pauli Malignaggi. Let's check in once again with Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. 3-0, 30-27, Amir Khan. Bob, let me ask you something. Why would Pauli Malignaggi fight this fight right in front of Amir Khan? Where are the angles? Where is the circling? He's not using that ring at all. It's like his feet are glued to the canvas, and Amir Khan can't miss him. Amir Khan keeps him right on the end of that jab in perfect distance. Malignaggi doesn't circle whatsoever. No movement. He's just standing in front of him, and Amir Khan's pounding on him. 3-0, Amir Khan.
Well,
Why, Max?
Something that jumps to mind is that Khan is not pressuring him. He's not fighting a sloppy defensive fight. Khan is staking out of the middle of the ring and coming in behind the jab, but then not trying to press Malignaggi all over the ring. So Malignaggi to bounce all around Khan and try to give him angles. I suppose he could try, to my eye, when he has tried, he's been met with counter shots and foiled.
To Harold's point about the jab, combination there from Khan. Khan's landed 38% of his jabs to this point, according to CompuBox.
It's much easier to bounce around Juan Diaz when he's coming to get you all the time. Much harder to bounce around a good, responsible defensive boxer who has a longer reach than you, who's taller than you, who's just as fast and may have better timing.
Here's the thing, Khan is fighting not only a good fight, but a smart fight. Right, Juan Diaz just comes in and throws punches and punches. Malignaggi moves around him, creates angles. Here, Khan is pretty traditional, but really foundation solid.
Right, the idea there Malignaggi had some moments with the left hook. He had a good moment with the left hook in the previous round. The idea, you know, what can Khan prove in a fight like this? Because the real question mark about him is his chin. Well, as I mentioned, he can prove that he has A boxing ability, grade A boxing ability. In outboxing a master boxer like Malignaggi, that's what Khan's doing.
And it's his first trip on the road.
That's right, and that he can handle the atmosphere of fighting on the road. Of course, Khan does have a lot of supporters here, as it turns out.
Don't punch, step out of here.
In fact, Malignaggi seems to be having his best success when he muscles Khan around the ring a little.
End of round number 4. Tune in May 18th for the next Real Sports. We'll profile the controversial new football coach at USC, Lane Kiffin. You don't want to miss it. World Championship Boxing is back June 5th. Miguel Cotto makes his debut at 154 pounds against title holder Yuri Foreman, live from Yankee Stadium, the location of many big fights over the years.
Give me one more, just like that.
Keep the pressure on. Let's see if we can drive that body shot for me, okay? Yeah, okay? All right? Jab, break in. Let's try to shoot that body shot, okay? All right?
Now, Pauli Malignaggi got a little aggressive in the last round, tried to press the fight a little bit, and Khan countered him with a short right hand inside.
He did, but Malignaggi also had moments, successful moments, pressuring Khan in that round.
Round number 5 underway.
Step out, guys. Good.
Max, one of the questions, one of the things going into this fight was, could Malignaggi make this uncomfortable for Khan stylistically? Doesn't seem like he's able to do that.
Well, what's so impressive about Khan's performance thus far
Get up.
is that
Get up.
conventional wisdom
Stay on your feet, Paulie.
says that to bother a real good boxer, a fleet-footed boxer, although to Harold's point, Malignaggi hasn't been very fleet-footed this fight, but to bother that kind of defensive fighter, you get a pressure fighter who throws a lot of punches. In fact, oftentimes, that backfires because the boxer's used to handling pressure. That the best way to disrupt a good defensive boxer is with another good defensive boxer. And that's what Khan is presenting here to Malignaggi.
And you know, when Malignaggi just got knocked down, Max, I saw a left hook to the body.
Yep.
That when you look at that again on replay, we'll show it to you in between rounds.
Yep, Malignaggi looked to me like he was taking a breather after a body shot.
It was not ruled a knockdown by Steve Smoger because they got entangled as Malignaggi held on and then kind of tumbled down You heard Steve Smoger say, keep your feet, Paulie. But there was a left hook in there that might have been the impetus for that.
In terms of what Malignaggi can do, he's shown through his career that he's a B+ fighter. He's lost to the A fighters, he's beaten the rest. And part of the matchmaking here, I suppose, is to leave the impression that Khan is an A fighter. After all, he's beating Malignaggi just like the other A fighters beat him. In fact, in a way more impressively in the sense that he is outboxing Malignaggi.
The losses on Malignaggi's resume, Miguel Cotto in 2006. Malignaggi says probably couldn't beat Cotto on any day. The stoppage against Ricky Hatton in November of '08. And then the controversial loss to Juan Diaz.
That's it, way to get out.
I'm going to say this about Malignaggi's legs, too. His legs looked very good in the first Diaz fight. But in his last time out against Diaz in the rematch, he didn't move as much as he did in the first fight. He staked out the middle of the ring more. And at the time, the thought was that was a strategic decision. Maybe his legs aren't what they once were. Not that he's an older fighter, but he's had some tough fights.
This is the 237th round on his resume.
Nice round, baby. Nice round. That's the rounds we need, Paulie.
Some water in here? Want water?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to me, son. Listen to me. Please.
Steve.
I know you can relax. You're going to eat him up if you relax. Okay, don't tie him up. I want to see you loose on this. Loose on this and do what we're doing in the jab. Okay?
I'm sure with it. The double jab is going to get you in your range, okay? It's 2 steps, okay? Step,
His
step.
tape all right, Freddie. The commission said his tape is loose. Here, put something on here.
Okay. Step, step. Okay. Step, step.
Max,
right
let's
hand.
take a look at what was not ruled a knockdown as Malignaggi tumbled him right there. Left hook right underneath the elbow. And then Malignaggi was trying to hold on. Eventually went down. It was not ruled a knockdown.
Well, that's something Khan's been doing throughout the fight. When Malignaggi comes in, he puts his right forearm on Malignaggi's shoulders and pushes down. And so it backfired on Khan in that instance because Malignaggi was hurt by the body shot, and it gave Malignaggi an excuse to go down and stop the action without having it ruled a knockdown.
According to CompuBox, in the last round, Khan landed 12 of 24 power shots, 50%. Max, it was an interesting point that you made in the second Diaz fight, which Malignaggi won a unanimous decision. We don't even know if, I don't think he fought as well as he did in the first fight when he had the controversial loss. Something that you brought up with him, less movement, a lot more inconsistencies. Are we seeing kind of a continuation of that?
Well, at the time it seemed as though the staking out the middle of the ring against Diaz was a strategic decision made so that he wouldn't give up too much ground. He could keep Diaz more firmly in the middle of the ring. But looking back at it, to Harold's point again, maybe it's that Malignaggi's legs aren't what they once were. In boxing, it's not like baseball where you get to see a guy hit 600 times a season. The sample sizes are much smaller, so we have to, there's more guesswork involved about where a fighter is physically at a certain point in his career.
Yeah, 238 rounds as a pro. Malignaggi had a good amateur career. He was the U.S. champion in 2001, so there's a lot of miles on the track.
Even look, to go back to the positioning of their hands, fundamentally, it's so much easier for Khan to pick off Malignaggi's jab. Unless Khan's coming forward, Malignaggi's not able to land his jab. Khan just sits back and picks it off with his gloves. Malignaggi, because of the, forget about his smaller size for a second, because he keeps his hands low, is much easier for Khan to hit with that straight jab.
Malignaggi able to connect there. Khan shoots a right hand over the top.
Malignaggi's game plan coming in was to make Khan reach, to jump out to a lead, as I mentioned, and make Khan get desperate and reach. But that in itself is almost an admission that Khan has to make mistakes for Malignaggi to capitalize on. Well, okay, let's say Khan's not making those mistakes. What's plan B? How do you lure him into those traps? And Malignaggi at this moment doesn't seem to have one. Maybe a function of his lack of punching power.
Well, you know, Malignaggi, you know, self-described, loves to talk a lot, but you get a sense from a boxing standpoint that Khan has left him speechless to this point.
Let his fist do the talking.
End of round 6. Another big round for Amir Khan.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Beautiful round. Okay? See that jab? Right? Body, head, mixing it up and down. Very good. Keep that going for me, okay? All right?
Halfway,
Remember.
7 coming.
All right? Remember, no lazy jabs. Okay. Stiff, crisp jabs, okay?
Okay? Don't give him too much respect. Okay? Keep your chin down. Come in with the right hand up high. Work your jab. Okay? Pressure this motherfucker. We stand in front of him. I'm not seeing your feet working. Okay? Pick it up. Okay, son?
Wind it up, round
Let's go, baby.
Seconds out.
Get set for the start of round number 7. Pauli Malignaggi getting moved around the ring by Amir Khan. Let's check in with Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. 6-0. 60-54, Amir Khan. Bob, I just can't understand why Paulie Malignaggi wants to stand in the middle of that ring like in a phone booth and bang with Amir Khan. Amir Khan's just too big, too strong. He gets off first, he lands the cleanest shots. By the way, I've never seen a guy ever wear a pair of Reebok boxing gloves. Amir Khan's the only one I've ever seen wear them. I don't know where he got them from, but be as it may, he's using them.
Well, he's got huge sponsorship deals in England. And he's got the Reebok logo on there. You know, Max, in between rounds 5 and 6, Freddie Roach in the corner of Amir Khan said, listen, double up that jab, use that jab, keep him at the end of the jab. So what does Khan do in that 6th round? 20 of 38 for his jabs, 53%. The problem for Malignaggi is he's getting outboxed. He does not have power. He only has 5 knockouts, none past the 6th round. What is he to do here?
Yeah, he does have a lot of moxie. He is willing to try to change the course of a fight by roughing up his opponent, but as you mentioned, he doesn't have the power to see it through. And he's fighting a calculating fighter who knows he enjoys all the advantages in Khan. Malignaggi's point that a lot of coddled European fighters fail once they leave Europe and are tested, so far has not borne out tonight. Khan looks like he slept perfectly well last night.
He looks very relaxed in the ring right now. He's in control. Scores with a combination that snaps back the head of Malignaggi.
And incidentally, the one example that Malignaggi brought up of a European fighter who did leave Europe and went on to great success was Lennox Lewis, who obviously the last undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And Bob, I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure, an honor to call fights with Lennox over the last 4 years. He's a great guy.
Oh, class act, great champion, wonderful gentleman. Good stiff jab from Khan again.
No.
You know, the problem that Malignaggi has always had is he doesn't have the eraser in his hands where a fight could be going the wrong way, a long way, and then he can change the course of the fight. And he's done nothing. You know, even if you say, well, take Khan into deeper waters and see how he deals with the ropes, there's been no pressure on Khan. It's relaxed. It's easy for Amir Khan right now. Like that.
I mean, right from the first round, when it was a long-distance boxing match, it was Khan outboxing Malignaggi, landing all the hard shots. I think Malignaggi was stunned when he realized that what he does best, he's being bested at that from the first moments of the fight.
That's similar to Mayweather Mosley. Mosley, a guy who always won with speed and athleticism. Well, he fought a guy who was more athletic and quicker.
Nice job. Beautiful body shot. All right, boy. Gasoline, Joe?
Yeah.
You're seeing the hook, right?
Yeah.
The hook's coming behind the feint.
Who's mine or his?
Yours.
Okay.
Feint and hook.
I think you had tape coming off of here.
Folks, the 1-2-1s, all the things that we worked on. Okay?
Round 8.
Look at me.
Round
That's
8.
the last time I'm gonna say.
Here you see the jabbing contest. Khan being able to jab from a preferred distance with the longer reach. Malignaggi with his hands down, getting caught right in the face twice.
Numerically, 90 of 229 jabs for Khan. That equates to 39%. He's used his reach, his height, his jab. He's controlled the action through the first 7 rounds.
Yeah, the reason Khan was a big favorite going into this fight is his one weakness so far that he's shown in his career, his inability to absorb a good shot, you know, is the one thing that Malignaggi's not positioned to exploit.
And you know, you almost got the sense listening to the corner, and Sharif Yunan, who's done a great job with Malignaggi, but it almost is starting to sound like a sell job to keep him in focus, because it looks like Malignaggi mentally is falling out of focus with each second of this fight.
Let me do a sell job. Any young fighters watching right now, especially the athletic fighters, they feel comfortable oftentimes with their hands down because they can see the action better. They feel that their punches are less visible to their opponent because they're coming from strange angles. But look at how easily, in the middle of the ring, Khan is flying Malignaggi's head. And it's happening primarily because Malignaggi's hands are down.
And Khan is always in position to punch.
And position to pick punches off. Doesn't look as cool, I know, but it works. Doesn't look as cool to keep your hands in a perfect defensive position, but it works.
That's it, way to get out.
And it really fits in with Khan's temperament. I know he's got a lot of publicity around him in England and everything, but he's pretty reserved when you talk with him, and he's pretty businesslike, and he's pretty serious. And he fights that way. And he's got a great trainer.
You made a baseball reference to start the show, Bob. You know, you have a pitching and defense team with a bunch of singles hitters, and they're down 10-0 late in the game. What do? That's Malignaggi right now.
A bunt isn't going to do it at this point.
Right, you need a 3-run. Well, he needs a 10-run home run right now, and he ain't a home run hitter.
Don't punch. Don't punch, step out.
Just picture perfect by Amir Khan. Picking apart the Magic Man, who doesn't seem to have a trick up his sleeve at this point.
Beautiful. Nice one.
All right, nothing wrong.
All right.
Well, Khan's landed
Yeah,
192 punches to Malignaggi. 111 of those connects have been jabs. He's 41% on his jabs so far in this fight. And we take a look at the punch zone. The punches landed by Khan. And look at the work being done to the head. 171 punches to the head. That jab at 41%, controlling this fight and nicking up the face for Pauli Malignaggi.
If you shoot something when he's coming in right now, look at me here. Keep your eyes here. Okay? I want to see the right hands and left hooks.
You can log on to hbo.com/boxing to watch those punch zone stats happen instantaneously. Now we're getting a timeout.
You okay? Now time. Time out.
Well, Malignaggi brimming with confidence. Has had the confidence jabbed right out of him. Good jab there by Malignaggi.
And we see with Malignaggi, as Harold pointed out in the after the third round, when Malignaggi is up on his toes, he's harder to hit. He really doesn't have much head movement, as you see there. When he's stationary, he has a little upper body movement. He has one pet move where he ducks down to his right, but otherwise has never really avoided punches with head movement. He avoids it with his feet. So when he is flat-footed, as he has been for much of this fight, he's much easier to hit than when he is bouncing on his toes. I wonder if he feels that when he's bouncing on his toes against Khan, he's out of position to punch because of Khan's superior height and reach.
Well, then he's betwixt and between. No matter which style he picks, he's losing.
One of the great advantages of Freddie Roach as a trainer, and this goes for many trainers, Freddie Roach, Emmanuel Stewart, the top guys, are also excellent matchmakers. And you see Freddie's influence in terms of opponents selected and why he would select them.
Well, he says they'd like a guy like Maidana next, someone who...
Maidana's a big puncher, and the thought has been that Khan's really just beating Paulie up.
Let me ask you at this point, I know Paulie is as game as they come. He fought with the fractured orbital bone against Cotto, but he has no power in his hands. He never has. I mean, at some point, if you're the corner, you look out for the guy and just say, you know, this is enough of a beating.
I really think he's taken more clean shots in this fight than he did against Ricky Hatton, and his corner stopped the Ricky Hatton fight around this time in the fight. Paulie was very upset by that, and I'm sure is going to beg to continue fighting here, but you can understand if his corner maybe thinks enough is enough. Not that he's about to get knocked out, but it's at a certain point it becomes pointless punishment.
And that was with Buddy McGirt when he worked with him. He says, you know, Sharif Younan has done a really good job of getting Malignaggi back to what he does best, but here he's just totally outclassed.
You know, especially since it's so many clean shots to the head. The head shots are really precise, and there are a lot of them from Khan.
And I guess there could be hanging the hat on the fact that, you know, Khan was knocked out once if we can get him on the chin. But Malignaggi doesn't have that kind of power.
You're going into 10 now.
You know what?
10, 11, 12.
You know what? That's a better round. You know why? Because he's taking chances. He's stepping in on that sucker right now. Okay? You can't sit there and wait on him. You hear me, baby? Go in and eat him up. Step in your punches. You feel me? Don't ask me to that, Paulie. Okay? I saw a little improvement in here. You can pull it. Zero in on the right hand on the roof. And you can get that guy out of here. We need to get him out of here. You feel me? We need to get him out of here. We're behind. You hear me? We're behind. You feel me? Okay, set the jab and go on top of the roof.
Amir Khan left, and then there comes the right, you know, and on the face of Malignaggi.
Malignaggi danced right out of range just then, or it could have been much worse. Most of the power on that shot had dissipated before it landed on Malignaggi's face, and it still landed with good effect.
Let's check in with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
What can you say, Bob? 9-0, 90-81 Amir Khan. He's still standing in the middle of the ring, getting off first, landing a perfect, beautiful, hard, effective shots. And I just winning this fight at clean, effective punching. Yeah, Paulie's trying, but he's taking a beating. 9-0, Amir Khan.
Well, here, the numbers, the CompuBox numbers in the last round. Malignaggi landed a connect high 23 punches in the last round. Khan landed 31.
And Khan's were more effective.
Yeah. Again, who would you rather be?
I mean, Malignaggi defensively has certain flaws, even though he hasn't been hit much by most of his opponents throughout his career. He backs straight up in a line instead of stepping around at times. And Khan's exploiting some technical deficiencies of Malignaggi.
Right hand over the top from Amir Khan.
Beyond just the positioning of Malignaggi's hands.
Victor Ortiz started the night by whitewashing Nate Campbell over 10 rounds. And Amir Khan has picked up where Ortiz left off, totally whitewashing Pauli Malignaggi.
Yeah, I mean, heading into the night, the question was there a miscalculation in terms of matchmaking with the two young stars, Khan and Ortiz, against the two veterans who come up the hard way and had to pay dues? And the answer is no. They were matched perfectly. But they both deserve credit for for winning every round.
Literally.
Yeah. Ortiz and Khan together have won every single round tonight.
No talking from Malignaggi, none of that stuff. It's because he's had a jab in his mouth.
That's it. That's what you do.
It's that easy for Amir Khan.
Khan has talked about taking Maidana next. He resents the idea that he's ducking Maidana. But, you know, if you're building your fighter back from a knockout loss, Maidana's a tremendous puncher. He is technically totally outclassed by Khan, at least on paper. But before you take that kind of risk against a fighter who punches like Maidana, you want to get your fighter's confidence back. And against Kotelnik and Malignaggi, two very good boxers, Khan's confidence looks sky high.
End of round 10.
He's good. He's good. I'm going to give you one more. You're not doing anything. Huh? Let the doctor come in and...
How you feeling? You good? Okay, you listen to me. It's good. Deep breath, son. Look at me. Look at me. You feeling good? Deep breath. Look at me right here. Okay? Step in, stop going backwards.
I'm hoping the doctors, you know...
Stop going backwards. You feel me?
I don't have
Stiff the shit and go in inside. Put some water on his head.
6 minutes.
Okay? Deep breath. Deep breath, son. Deep breath. Wake up. Listen. Step in. The right hand you're not throwing. Come on, baby. Come on.
What are we going to do?
Hold on.
Time!
And Steve Smoger, you know, Steve Smoger came in and told Malignaggi, you got to do something. Malignaggi.
He's good. What?
He's good.
He's done?
He's good. He's good.
Let's go one more.
One more.
You're good.
You're going to give him one more round. You know, Steve Smoger is doing a good job of it.
I love what the commission's doing here, what the doctor's doing. And the only problem is, I think Malignaggi's corner has to protect him now, because there's no way Malignaggi's going to say, yeah, I've had enough.
Well, yeah, because that's not his temperament. That's not what he's all about. And they're trying to exhort him on to do something that he's never done before. He's never knocked anybody out.
Well, I mean,
After the 6 round, he doesn't have. He's got 5 knockouts.
No, but you know, look at Khan's eyes. They are very reddened. Maybe a crazy cut could open up. You never can tell. It is the fight game. The question always is in these situations: is it worth the risk? Here, I would say no. The win for Paulie's not worth the risk. If he could somehow do something miraculous, he's getting hit too cleanly, too often, and I think his corner should protect him from himself before too long.
Because he's not going to quit.
No.
I mean, and I think the corner is not looking at this realistically, like he's got a chance to win this fight somehow. They're asking him to do something he doesn't do. Knock somebody out.
Well, he threw that left hook like he meant it. Malignaggi is throwing his version of knockout shots.
Left hand thumps off the head of Malignaggi.
Khan's knockout shots look more convincing. Good stoppage by Steve Smoger.
Well done.
Stay with me. Stay with me, baby. Stay with me.
Thoroughly beat Pauli Malignaggi.
All right, here was so good, though.
Yeah, here. So much fun.
Well, after the war of words that these two had in the run-up to the fight, the pushing and shoving during the weigh-in, real respect as you see Amir Khan's father in the ring congratulating Malignaggi. Sharif Yunam, the trainer of Malignaggi, but Amir Khan's United States debut, impressive, because he beat Pauli Malignaggi at his own game, and he was dominant. Referee Steve Smoger, really, he called timeout before the start of the last 2 rounds. Told Malignaggi, I'm going to give you 1 more round. And it wasn't even from that sequence. It was some of the other punches before that. Malignaggi just did not have anything to deal with Khan. There's a good step-in left hand by Amir Khan, and it was just too easy for him. He landed 41% of his jabs, 38% of his power shots, dominating this fight. For the official time of the stoppage, to the ring, and Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Smoger steps in and calls a halt to the bout. The official time, 1 minute, 25 seconds of round number 11. The winner by TKO victory, and still WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the World, from Bolton, Lancashire, England, Amir King Khan.
Amir Khan retains his 140-pound belt as referee Steve Smoger steps in and stops the bout at 125 of round number 11. Khan now 23-1, 17 stoppages. Well, we take a look at the numbers from CompuBox and the total punches in the fight. Khan landed at 40%, landing 259 punches, more than double the amount landed by Malignaggi, who landed 24% in the fight. Khan was busier, more accurate. You know, controlling the fight with the jab was something Freddie Roach talked about, his trainer. He talked about it between rounds, and Khan did it. 41% as he lands nearly 100 more jabs than Malignaggi in the fight. He beat him at his own game. And those jabs to the head of Malignaggi, you take a look at the numbers, and they are staggering. 200 punches landed to the head of Pauli Malignaggi. A couple shots to the body, but it was that jab to the head that really controlled this fight for Amir Khan, whose U.S. debut is successful, and he is in the ring with Max Kellerman.
Amir, congratulations on a tremendous display of boxing. How are you so easily able to outbox a very good boxer like Pauli Malignaggi?
You know, no disrespect to Pauli. You know, Pauli's a great fighter. I just want to say thank you, you know, for inviting me in New York. All the fans were brilliant. But yeah, you know, me and Freddie stuck to the game plan. We stuck to instructions all the way. We know Pauli's a very awkward fighter. You know, he's a great boxer. He's good at moving, but we had to break him down slowly. You know, we didn't want to go in there and run and try knocking him out, because we would have got caught with shots. So we had to use our brains, break him down slowly, and, you know, 11th round come in. I knew in the last few rounds I was hurting him. From round 9, I know I was hurting him, and then all I had to do is put the pressure on him.
From the very first round, you were outboxing him from long range, which is not something we're used to seeing happen to Malignaggi. How were you able to do that?
You know, I've got speed, power, and I'm using my speed and my boxing skills, and also the jab. You know, I got a great jab. Me and Freddie have been working on that jab for such a long time, and, you know, it worked for me. Everything was coming after the jab.
Your defense also was quite good. He found it difficult to land much against you, although there are some signs of some shots that he did land against you. What was the defensive strategy?
You know, boxing's a sport. You know, you're going to go in the shower, you're going to get wet. You know, you're going to go in a boxing ring, you're going to get hit. You know, Pauli's a very awkward fighter. He would catch me with shots when I was coming in. I had to do a lot of feints, so I had to break him down. I could see, you know, Paulie watched a lot of videos of mine, and he knew exactly what I was going to do. So every time I was going into the corner, Freddie was just, you know, telling me what to do and just telling me the right instructions, and I followed them.
Okay, congratulations on a successful American debut. This is a very deep and good 140-pound division. A fighter that's been talked about with you is Marcos Maidana, tremendous puncher.
Yeah.
What do you think about fighting Maidana?
You know, he's a great fighter, but, you know, we know how to beat Maidana. I know I can beat Maidana, and, you know, if he wants to fight me, you know, tell him to get in the line. I'd love to fight him next. And, you know, I've put a statement today, and if Maidana wants to fight me, let's have it next.
Because of your size and your star potential, and you're already your very bright star in England, the question as to how long you will remain at 140 pounds comes up from time to time. Will you stay in the division long enough to fight either Tim Bradley or Devin Alexander or whoever emerges from that group?
You know, definitely. You know, everyone's talking about Amir Khan fighting these big names. And by the way, you know, I am making 140 pounds easy. My strength conditioner, Alex Ruiz, is doing a great job with me. I feel strong. I'm a big 140 fighter. You know, a lot of people put the pressure on me. Why don't you fight Maidana? You know, I'd fight Maidana next. Let Timothy Bradley fight Alexander. The winner of them, us guys, will face in the final, you know. So it's like having a semi-final. Me, Maidana, Alexandra versus Timothy Bradley. You know, let's do it.
So you're not leaving 140 until business is settled?
I ain't going to leave 140 pounds until I unify the title. You know, till I'm #1, I'm not going to leave this division.
That's what we wanted to hear. Thanks so much, Amir. Tremendous performance. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All these guys.
Paulie, we've seen you beaten by pressure fighters.
Yeah.
We've never seen you outboxed in the middle of the ring. What happened?
Man, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm getting old or what, man. I mean, I'm 29. I didn't feel old. I had a great camp. You know, Amir just came and fought a very good fight. You know, very busy, a lot of angles. Kept changing distance. You know, that was the plan for me. But Amir was quicker. It's funny because, you know, when I turned pro, I had a similar style to Amir. You know, and as I got older, and I hurt my hands. I started slowing it down and trying to pick my shots more. And I ran into like a clone of myself from when I was younger, but maybe even stronger and bigger and faster. You know, and. You know, he was very busy. You know, I couldn't keep up with him, I guess. I couldn't get the distance right.
Early in the fight, after the third round, Harold Letterman pointed out that you weren't bouncing around on your legs. And it occurred to us, you didn't really bounce around too much against Diaz in the rematch either. Are your legs not there anymore?
I feel like they are. I mean, I haven't been through a lot of wars, have I? I mean, I've been through some tough fights, but I don't know if as you get older, you know, you start to not dance around as more. I mean, even great fighters like Mayweather and Whitaker, as they got older, were more planted, but they were slicker, I guess, than I was tonight, you know? They are slicker than I was tonight, you know? As you get older, you know, I guess you just automatically stop using your legs as much and try to really cut off the ring and just box from the distance, you know? But Amir's younger. He just had that youthful enthusiasm, and he stayed busy. He wanted it, and I give him a lot of credit.
And we give you a lot of credit, Paul. You always give the 100% effort. Congratulations on a tremendous effort. And there's certainly no quit in you. We're glad it stopped when it was. Thanks, Paulie.
Hey, man, thanks to HBO for having me on, man. I gave it a shot, you know. Like I said, you guys got a great fight. I think you guys got a great junior welterweight tournament coming up. I look forward to watching it myself.
Thanks, Paulie. So, Bob, just this. Khan just laid out the plan. He wants to kind of play in the NLCS against Marcos Maidana, who's a tremendous puncher, but not the overall fighter, technically, that either Bradley or Alexander is. He wants to fight Maidana. He wants to see Bradley and Alexander fight each other, with the winner to fight the winner. I'll take it. Good enough. Let's settle business at 140 pounds. Bob?
Well, Max, we started off this evening talking about the stars at 140 pounds. And obviously for Amir Khan, his first fight in the United States, his star carried across the Atlantic as he came in and took care of business. The question was, could he get touched on the chin? Malignaggi could not do that tonight. And in our first bout of the evening, Victor Ortiz, who had that loss to Maidana, trying to reinsert himself into this equation at 140 pounds. And what we learned tonight, two young fighters in Ortiz and Amir Khan were able to tell the tales of time against older fighters in Paulie Malignaggi and Nate Campbell at 38 years of age, who in effect were shut out over the balance of both of these fights. But one thing is for certain, as you pointed out, the 140-pound division is bright, young, healthy, and exciting. If you missed any of tonight's broadcast, you can catch it in its entirety at the dates and times listed below. You can also go to HBO.com, sign up for our boxing newsletter, and get breaking news and exclusive deals. Next on HBO, it's the Pacific. So for our entire crew, this is Bob Papa saying so long from New York City.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.